Everyone, today we're going to discuss how habits can get in the way of your goals. Habits are key to achieving your goals, but only if you don't get tired of them. So whether it's hiking a trail or pursuing other projects, the feeling of being over it can be so strong that we abandon goals that once excited us, even goals that we have the potential to achieve. Research into our emotional experiences around habits can help explain this phenomena and keep us on track with our goals. You see, the downside of habits is that those automated actions we repeat at regular intervals help us achieve goals. Want to lose weight? Make a habit of eating breakfast instead of skipping it. Want to write a novel? Make it a habit to wake up a half an hour early to write. The link between habits and goals is so compelling that it has generated multiple best-selling books. What no one mentions is that those same habits that are established to achieve your goals can turn on you. When we get too accustomed to a particular behavior we perform en route to a goal, we are more likely to quit. Like a marriage that has gone stale after too many years together, our goal becomes boring and we look for new thrills. In one study, University of Southern California psychology and business professor Wendy Wood and her colleagues asked college students to record what they were doing at 1 hour intervals for a day or two, so studying, exercising, or socializing, for example. And they also asked students how they felt about that behavior on a scale that ranged from very negative to very positive. Wood found that when performing habitual behaviors, students reported feeling less intense emotions, and in particular, less pride. This was true even when the behaviors had once been enjoyable, like watching TV or hanging out with friends. It was also true for behaviors that were important to achieving long-term goals. Wood says working and studying, two activities that contribute to a future career, were not especially pleasant or unpleasant for students when performed habitually. Wood explains this phenomena, the so-called double law of habits. Repetition has multiple effects, she says. One is to strengthen the memory trace of an action so that habitual tendencies get stronger. The other is to weaken our emotional response if boredom starts so that you're no longer getting much kick from what you're doing. Even habits as long-standing and simple as brushing your teeth are plagued by the habituation problem. Wood says if you give people a toothbrush that monitors when they brush their teeth, you find that most people brush consistently in the morning to eliminate bad breath, but evening toothbrushing gets neglected when they're too tired or busy. Now, we speculate that people whose lives are characterized by large proportions of habitual behavior can find that their emotional experiences become dull and subdued over time. So one of Wood's graduate students is actually currently working on this project and investigating the question further, how to combat habit boredom. Now, while there's plenty of advice on how to establish habits to help you meet your goals, there is little research on what to do when those habits get boring. So what do we do in the meantime? Well, one way that people overcome this challenge is by figuring out how to add interest, fun, or passion back into those habits that move them toward their goals. You add passion back into a marriage by doing things you find fun together. Going on date nights, for example. You can make habits compelling again in the same way. Paradoxically, we sometimes reduce our enjoyment even further in attempting to reinvigorate our drive. It can be tempting to challenge yourself with new behaviors that set the bar higher. For example, you might push yourself to work on your novel for 45 minutes every morning instead of a half an hour. But just making any change, even if it is a change that is beneficial for achieving your goal, doesn't make an activity more engaging. You want to change things up to make it more fun again, not less fun. Thinking hard about what makes something fun for you is vital. Focus on changing your behavior so they bring you intrinsic joy, that sense that you love what you're doing and it is right for you. The University de Quebec in Montreal, Professor Robert Vallerand's work on harmonious passion finds that when we are engaged in activities that bring us that sense of joy, we tend to work harder and perform better. If you're able to introduce joy into the habits you perform en route to your goal, you may have greater success at reaching it. If your goal has gone stale, take a cue from the hikers and athletes and make it more compelling again. For example, say your goal is to eat more healthfully. After deciding to add more vegetables and whole grains to your diet, you've gotten into a good routine of cooking healthy dinners for the last few months. Suddenly you find yourself ignoring your planned recipes and stopping by McDonald's after work more and more often. Your habit of cooking a healthy dinner has turned on you. It became boring and drove you to McDonald's. The solution: sit down and brainstorm new ways to eat vegetables and whole grains that you would find more appealing. Do you love going to restaurants? Plan to go out to dinner twice a week for the next month and order only vegetable dishes. Do you think trying new recipes is fun? Challenge yourself to cook every grain recipe in the joy of cooking. We don't want to adopt behaviors that will compromise our ability to achieve our goals. The challenge is to figure out how to change things up enough in your head while still keeping up efficiency. Every vegetable dish you order at restaurants is loaded with cream and cheese. The additional fat you're adding to your diet might compromise your original goal to eat more healthfully. So we have to watch these things. It is normal to be over it at some point as you work toward your goals. When this happens, you can decide to gut it out or try to liven up the process. Adding fun back into a dull routine is more successful a strategy, especially when you're further away from the finish line. Thank you very much for watching today.